Hi everybody, welcome back to another segment with David and myself. As you can see, we're in a different location. This is an underground laboratory, and now we're going to blow things up. No, it's not that. We moved to a new location. We decided to set up a little mini studio in a basement of a health food store. So it gives you an idea, plus it gives us a little bit more room, and we can be a little bit more versatile and have more things set up right away so we can go one video to another. So anyway, today we're going to show you how to make a nootropic. Now, what's a nootropic? A nootropic is a substance, food, or component that works on the brain. A lot of you call me up and tell me, hey, I can't remember where I put my keys. I just had them in my hand. I went into a room and I got to the room and I forgot what the bloody hell I was there for. And you sit down and your brain engages and you get back up and say, oh yes, because that's what happens when you get older. The brain goes down to the backside, and as soon as you sit down, then the brain reacts, oh yes, and you get back up and go back to whatever. How many times you go up and down a set of steps and try to think, what the heck was I doing? Okay, so we're going to show you. And for those of you who are younger, in your 20s, a lot of you are already forgetting things, which is really amazing to watch. 20 years old, and I can't remember where they live anymore. That's because of the aluminum and the barium and the titanium dioxide and all the other chemtrail things that are falling out. Plus, you're eating a lot of soy, which causes brain shrinkage and brain damage. So, I keep telling you don't eat soy, and I keep telling you don't eat grains because these things are not good for you. Now, what this nootropic does is it's going to rewire the brain so that the brain cells can communicate more efficiently and more effectively. It's going to preserve the acetylcholine of the brain. It's going to actually increase the acetylcholine into the brain and allow for better connectivity between the lower part of the brain, between the right and left side. Three things that are in it is paracetam, or paracetam for some of you, choline, and DMAE. And as you can see, before I go on, I'm going to show you something. Now, what I'm going to show you is medical and scientific. This is an actual one. I've been giving this stuff out for years and years and years, but this is the first time that this has ever done this for somebody, and I'm not saying this is going to do it for you. I will tell you what this person did in order to reverse Alzheimer's. Now, some of you medical people are going to say, that's impossible. You medical people are in a little box. And all you see is what's inside that little box and little purview, because if you look outside the box, you will lose your license to practice medicine. And I understand that. I really do. You're afraid. You got thousands and millions of dollars invested in university debts and loans, and you got to pay them off. So you got to, basically toe the line. And I understand that. But the real scientists would not look just what's inside the purview of a box. They will look outside to see what goes on. Now, what I'm going to show you has been medically documented. Now, this fellow was 89 years old. Now, he used this, and he did use one other thing, okay, something called Aricept. He used 5 milligrams of Aricept, which is an acetylcholine enzyme blocker from breaking it down. Okay, he did use that. And that I would encourage you to use too. I looked it up. I didn't see any problems with using something like that. But what he did, now when they did the test on this fellow, I gotta cover his name because it's not proper. Anyway, he got Windsor Regional Hospital, Windsor, Ontario. Hey, best city in Canada. Okay, when he got examined, his scores, MMSE scores, after he used the supplements, was 29 out of 30. 30 is the highest. He lost his license because of an Alzheimer's condition. Now, as you can see here, 29 out of 30. This is not an exaggeration. These are not numbers I made up. This is an actual medical documentation here. Okay, now, I'm also going to show you where he was at.
What's MMSE? Is that important to know?
It's I guess they're standard measuring the brain's activity as far as being normal down to dementia or Alzheimer's. So it's just their score, way of scoring.
Okay.
All right. Blank had testing to Alzheimer's disease, which showed MMSE results 22 out of 30. He was declared an Alzheimer's condition with this. Okay. After improving his diet with organic foods and having an effort to be more active, and as well as taking some medications to improve his physiology, his testing scores with MMSE improved to 28 out of 30 and went as high as 29 out of 30. In other words, and this guy was 89 years young. Okay, 89 years young. So he reversed his condition with this component I'm going to show you. I cannot guaranteed this is going to work for everybody. In all the years I've given this particular nootropic formulation, this is the first time that ever happened. Now, he took this in conjunction with Aricept, in conjunction with keeping a clean diet. And got to emphasize the clean diet part. Okay, so I'm showing you this because this is the real deal. This is what has happened. This is, again, I didn't make this up. So for those of you who think, well, you're a little bit on the outside, nutcase, whatever, that's okay. I like being on the outside nutcase, and that doesn't really affect me, but this is the reality here. So I'm going to show you how to make this stuff. What you're going to use is Persetum. Where'd I put it? DMAE. And choline. Now, I'm going to give you the measurements I make. You can tweak this any way you like. Okay? You don't have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it. You can make it stronger. You can make it weaker. Okay? There is no component here saying you've got to do it exactly. I'm just showing you what I did, how I helped this person. I'm going to give a little bit of a background here. Persetum is a nootropic, which is showing the ability to improve learning and memory in healthy individuals not suffering from disease or severe age-related degeneration. It also does work for the aged and the elderly. Okay, it is a brain restorer. It increases brain connectivity, increases memory enhancement, cognitive enhancement. When you use this formulation, you will find every 45 days there will be an improvement. Now, for those of you who are 75, 80 years old, what you're going to find with this, it may take up to 3 months for you. The reason why it may take 3 months for you is because you've had 80 years of this wonderful existence on the planet Earth. And in that 80-year time frame, you've been abused and misused, and you've stored a lot of information and data. So your brain is like a folder, a file case, like a file case. And you got all these folders in your file case. So your brain has to go up and down 80 years worth of data storage to locate information in the cells. Somebody younger, like 20 years old, that uses this will be there right away because they don't have as much information stored. You do. So you're going to take a little longer to get here. Okay, it's going to take usually 3 months. This guy did this in 6 weeks, primarily because he doubled the dose. I told him to take 2 a day for the first week, and then go down to 1 a day, and he took 3. 3 for 6 weeks, and bang, he was there. Now again, I don't suggest that. If you feel you can do it, no problem. There's no danger in this stuff, none whatsoever. Okay, if you go look at Persetum, there's no side effects to speak of at all. None. Okay. The fact that Persetum improves verbal learning, and it would appear to be a substance which is capable of extending the intellectual functions of men, or of a man. Man and woman, there's no discrepancy here. Our subjects were not senile, suffering from generalized brain disorders for young people. So those of you going to school, university, college, this is something you may want to incorporate while you're getting educated, okay, so that you can sustain and maintain your brain acuity. They had people, again, and the dose they were taking were high doses, so again, keep that in mind, look at the research. You don't have to do high doses of this to work, because when you combine these 3 things together, they have a certain synergy to which impact their force inside. So again, if you're making this stuff, do not overdo it. The other thing I'm going to tell you too is when you use this stuff, especially, okay, for you guys between 30 and 50, guys and gals, when you first start taking it, all of a sudden you're going to dream in color. You retain your dreams. You may even notice coordination may improve. Again, you may notice every 45 days there's a new development in the brain. You can get to the point where your brain starts processing so much information so fast it'll bog down. When that starts to happen, take a break from it. Young people between 20 and 30, 10 to 11 days, take a break, 5-6 days. Okay, because your brain will get overwhelmed. You'll be like, and the guy on speed going backwards, on steroids, kind of thing. So you don't want to really be doing that, okay? And it does work. Again, there's really no danger to this stuff, but you will find that you'll be over-processing things. And if you take it too late at night, you will be awake because your brain will be processing and processing and processing. So, having said that, let me go on with the DMAE. DMAE alleviates behavioral problems, hyperactivity associated with ADD. There's no such thing as ADD, but anyway, increases attention span, decreases aggression, learning ability sometimes increases up to 70%. People who have mental dysfunctions. And again, it can help clean out the lipofuscin in the brain, which basically is fat collecting in the brain. So you've got that going on. And again, you can look up DMAE, you can see all the wonderful things. Choline is used as well in this formula, again, to increase choline levels. Again, which also increases intelligence quotients. What else? It also helps with people, again, with mental dysfunctions. Again, when you get older, it increases neurotransmission activity. So when you put the three together, they have a very, very potent effect. So, what are we going to do? We're going to make this stuff. We are going to show you. And we're going to show you how to figure out your milligram strength on this stuff, okay? And it's really not that hard. What I'm going to basically do, my little doohickey there, ta-da! It's processing. Aha, we are here. All right, so I usually put 70 grams of paracetam. Oop, I gotta change the measurement of this thing. Sorry, do this again. There we are. Aha. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Those of you who are young and don't know what that's all about.
I'm 32. I have no idea what that's about.
Oh my gosh. You're married?
I am.
And you don't know what shake it means?
Well,
you better talk to your wife, eh? So maybe she'll explain it to you.
We have different techniques nowadays.
Oh yeah, you see, I'm old school. I mean, what can I tell you? You know, I'm from the age of dinosaurs. You know, where men and women are excited. But you know, today I don't know. It's people want to have what do you call that? Sex, where you just want to touch computers, and that's what they want to call it today. I don't know. That's weird to me. But hey, to each your own. All right, there's 70 grams. So this will get you more creative when you do this stuff.
There you go.
All right, so you got 70 grams here. All right, 70 grams. Boom. Right in there. All right, so now we're going to take 30 grams of choline. Dun ta da! 30 grams. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Oh, shoot, I did the wrong thing. Okay. Hold on a second here. My unit has to reboot. All that shaking just got it all loosened. All
Got
right.
excited, huh?
Got all excited. There it goes. Didn't know what to do with it, so. Okay, so there's 30 grams of choline. Putting it in here. Dun, ta, da. There. Now, finally, DMAE. Dun, ta, da. This is the stuff, boy, I'll tell you. This will get you rock and rolling, strutting, strolling. Oh, man, you won't know what hits you.
It's in glass and plastic. Looks like it's potent.
Yeah, it's potent. This stuff will put here and just make a man out of you. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Come on out, Dilo. That's right, I'm on camera now, so I gotta watch my language. What the heck's wrong? Oh, that's what's wrong with you.
What's that?
I want coffee. Now they come out. See, it's called shaking it.
Oh, man.
Listen, these things have to be, you have to have a little sense of humor when you do this stuff. I mean, you got to consider when the drug company's trying to kill you, the chemtrails trying to kill you, you got to have some kind of sense of humor.
Have some fun in life.
You know. If you don't know how to shake it, oh well. Get a book.
Yeah, and if you can't, then you got to refer back to one of our previous videos, eh? Yeah, for the erectile dysfunction.
Erectile dysfunction, there you go. Which we're going to show up the way how to make a testosterone formula. Very cheap and very inexpensive, so you don't have to spend $9,000 and go on some website and spend money on things that don't work or got aluminum in them. All right, there we go. I got 30 grams. You got it, finally. 30 grams. All right, so we got 30 grams of DME, 30 grams of choline and 70 grams of paracetam. Now, what you do is throw it in the blender. Let it mix. Oh, that's a beauty. Okay, so what you do sometimes is give them a little bit of a shake, loosen it up. This has got to mix. This is how the pharmaceutical industry does stuff, so just so you know. Okay, you'll know when it's mixing because it's powdery and it'll compact, right? So every so often, just give it a bit of a whack, okay? And take a look at the bottom of the blender, and you'll start seeing the powder start to flow and mix and flip over, and that's what you want. See right there? Starting. There we go. Okay, wait a couple minutes because if you open this up, you're going to get all, and you'll be coughing up a lung and all this stuff, and you know, and then you say, this herbal guy's trying to kill me, and I'm not really trying to do that, but hey. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. Now, this is the fun part, okay? The fun part here is putting the capsules together. Now, how do we do the math on this? How do we know what we have going into a capsule? All right. Each capsule, this is a single zero capsule. There's about 680 milligrams to 700 milligrams per capsule. That's the most you can contain in a single zero. So if you're buying a product in a single zero capsule and it's telling you it's got 5,000 million zillion grams of something, it's a sales pitch. Leave it alone. Don't buy it. Okay? They've got single zero, double zero, and triple zero. Single zero is about 680 to 700. The double zero is 950 to 1,000 milligrams, and the triple zero is approximately 12 to 1,300 milligrams. That's the biggest you're going to get. Now those are horse capsules, by the way, so you know. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take the whole 70, 30, and 30. So that's 130. Okay, right, 130. And you're going to divide that 130 by each one. 130 into 70, 130 into 30, 130 into 30. Okay, since you've got three components, when you add the sum up of all three is 130, and then you're going to divide that 130 to the 70, which is your paracetam, which I already did the math here. Okay, so basically it comes down to 0.5384. Then you multiply that by 700 to keep it simple. It's 680 to 700. Okay, so keep it to 700. That's going to give you 376 milligrams in that capsule. Okay, 376. So you only got 700 milligrams. So you know the other capsules, other powders, are only half the amount. So you can divide the 376 by half twice, and that's going to give you close to 300 milligrams. Or you can do it the other way. You take the 376, do the same thing, 30 divided by the 130, which gives you a point decimal figure, then multiply that by 700, which will give you 161.5 milligrams. So about 162 milligrams. So 161.5 is 323 milligrams. Add that to the 376 milligrams, and you have 699 milligrams. So you now know how to make a product, and you can do this with anything. B complex, multiple vitamin. You want to make your own multiple vitamin? Okay, you can do this. If you make multiple vitamins or B complexes, you're going to have to either add a rice starch or a neutralizing agent because some of them do have acids and will activate the other components. But you can do the same thing. You can figure out how much starch. You can put 10 grams of starch and say you got 50 grams of B1, 50 grams of B2, blah, blah, all the way down, all your Bs, and then mix them all up and then do the math on it. You can now determine per capsule how many milligrams you're actually getting when you use it. And that's what we just did here. So you now know that these capsules, 680 or 700 milligram capsules, are going to have 376 milligrams of the paracetam or paracetam. You're going to get 161.5 milligrams of the DMAE and 161.5 milligrams of the choline. Total 699. Simply. So again, now you guys can be the kitchen orthomolecularist. You're going to make all this orthomolecular stuff and heal your bodies. And then I can take a nap because you'll take over and do videos and show people what to do. All right, so now we're going to make the capsule. So basically, just pop and push. Pop and push. Like we're making drugs here. Look, he's a druggie, yes. He's putting nootropics together, making brain food here. Now, for those of you who've got elderly parents or elderly relatives, you know, you can make this for them. This is not harmful by any stretch of the imagination. You just got to make sure that if they are taking any drugs, that they don't, if you're going to give them stuff like this, rule of thumb, always remember, rule of thumb, 2-hour window. Now, again, some medical people may not like what you're doing. Too bad. I don't like what they're doing either. You know, I don't like the fact that they constantly trying to force vaccines on young people, constantly trying to force young moms, playing on their emotions, saying you need to vaccine your child, and really all that's doing is putting genetic material into children that shouldn't be there.
Well, I was just explaining to a friend of mine yesterday that he was thinking of vaccinating kids because he thought he had to. He didn't realize that there was a form here in Ontario that we can sign and
tell him to go take a short walk off along dock.
Yeah, he thought it was mandatory.
Yeah, no, it's not mandatory. Vaccines in Canada are not mandatory. Federal government states they are not mandatory. You can get a waiver. You do not have to put genetic material into your children if you don't want to. You know, like I said, sheep blood, monkey genes. I mean, this is not things you should have to check.
You make it sound so attractive.
Well, it is, you know. Remember that sheep blood? They washed the sheep blood.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They washed sheep blood. Ooh, sheep blood. You know, because they wash it makes it safer, right?
That's right.
You know, sheep blood.
Everyone knows that.
Or pig parts. For those of you who are Muslim, you know, you come to Canada or the United States and you go get a vaccine, you might put pig parts in it. And I know how much you guys like pigs, you know. And also if you're Jewish, you know, some of you are of the Jewish persuasion. Those, you know, you don't really like pork, and yet you want to have a pork DNA pumped into your body. Again, I'm just pointing this out to you because I'm not trying to be condescending on anybody's belief system. I'm just pointing out that if this is against your religion,
you need to know this information.
That's right. You need to know this information.
Right.
So you don't go out there and get pork pumped into you. You know, or sheep blood. You know, the blood of an animal is not actually required consumption in most cultures. As a matter of fact, they abstain from it. But hey, they're going to put that in you. So here we are, becoming rocket scientists here. And so every so often you double check, make sure you haven't missed a hole. If you haven't missed a hole, then you got to go back and refill that capsule, and then you get mad and start swearing, because that's what I do. So
I thought that would have turned into a sexual reference somehow.
See, you're thinking about the shaking thing. Yeah, you're thinking on it now. All right, there we go. See, normal thinking. You know, men think in normal terms. You know, money and shaking. You know, it's just our genetic code. We can't help that. It's just the way we are. And, you know, don't ask us to get in touch with our female side because we don't have one. You know, that was another one of those lying matrix things there. Matrix were trying to turn men into mush so that we could be easier target. It's, you know, it's a sad state of affairs, but that's the way it is. Why don't you get in the hole? Oh, man. I don't have this much problem, you know that? Anyway. Aha! That one slid in just right. Now, all young people that are watching this, you know, by the time you guys are my age, you'll be ancient like me. You'll be smarter, hopefully, not dumber. We don't need any more dumb people. We got enough of those. Let's look at our politicians. They're just about as bright as you can get. We don't need any more like that. We need people who are smart, creative, inventive. Oh yes, inventive, that's a good word. We're not becoming dependent on anything. Free energy kind of concept, you know, that's a good thing. Science that really understands the nature of God's creation, not trying to take credit for something it's not capable of doing. You know, understanding science means that you understand the way things work. That's what it really means. So anybody else who's got this idea that science is God, you're a little bit daft, but that's my opinion. Okay, I got this here. All right, I think I got them all. Let's see, I think I missed a hole here. Oh, nope, not in there. Okay, she's in. Get back in there. All right, now, ta-da. Ooh, see, lack of oxygen. All right, see, by now this thing should have subsided, and it did. Now, as you can see, this stuff is mixed. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I mean, it's all just powder, but.
Yeah. You can't snort this stuff. Please don't do that. That's not what it's for. You know, some of you think, oh, I can run it up the nose. No, don't do that. Again, it's probably more for people my generation than anybody else because our people did all kinds of crazy things. You know, they snorted things, they ran things in their arms, all kinds of nuts. All right, so then you just, you know, and now if you don't have one of these things, basically,
What is it?
it's just a scooper, just a slide. See what I'm doing?
Oh.
Just use an old index card. Now, let's say you don't even have one of these pill things. Okay, you don't have one. Get an old bowl. Get an old bowl and just do it the old-fashioned way. You know, pump the two. One gal said she would take the capsule, stick a pile of powder, stick it upside down, pack the capsule that way. Whatever works. And use what you've got. Okay, it sounds like a book. Use what you got. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. My, oh my. Hey, that worked out pretty good. I'm surprised. Okay, now you take the extra, put it back in here. And as you can see, just showing you guys how to be orthomolecular constructive people, where you can now make brain food. Okay? The reason why I'm giving you a lot of this stuff because a lot of you are really having brain dysfunctions, you know, all kidding aside. And I'm not saying it's because you're stupid or anything. A lot of you are not stupid by no stretch of the imagination. But you're starting to act that way, and you can't figure out why you're acting that way. And then they're telling you that it's age-related, and that's a lot of horse hockey, okay? So again, we're not here saying, when you do get older, you just get slower, not dumber. Okay, you still have all those information. One doctor did some research on the whole thing and pointed out that as we get older, so look at that, our brain cells disconnect or slowly come undone from the brain. The connection isn't there. It's like an old floppy disk or a CD or DVD that you put into the player, but you don't engage into the computer. It's the information is there, it's just not accessing it. Okay, that's exactly what goes on. Now, the moment you push the DVD player into this system and you click on the right access point, you now have access to that information. And it's no different for us, okay? No different. The only difference is, like I said, the older you get, you got more data stored in the background, okay? And for you young people, with a lot of you, it's just clutter. You know, all this music and dating so-and-so, and if so-and-so's happening over here and the gossip over there, and you get caught up with all these idiotic descriptive things and frequencies that are screwing your head, and you need to get focused. So this will help you with that. Okay, so, you know what I did forget? The container, but that's okay. See, we go like this. Look at that. Like I knew what I was doing.
So you've done it before.
Look, I've done it before. Okay. Look at that. Now, you've got something that you made that does not have any TVP, which is soy, doesn't have any titanium dioxide, which is equivalent to taking asbestos. So for some of you who don't know what titanium dioxide is, it's a harmful material that when it gets in your system works just like asbestos. This is what they're dropping out of the chemtrails, so that you're familiar with that. Knowing that then when you look up in the sky and it's not a bird, it's not a plane, no, it's a chemtrail. And titanium dioxide is one of those components. So this will help some of you who are having the brain fog issue get reconnected and get back in circle. Now, when you get reconnected, don't squander your brain on stupid crap. Start becoming inventive. Start becoming creative. Start becoming something that you were meant to be. Evolve in that higher level that God wanted you to be into. Don't get caught up on some stupid, tangent. Use your brain to be creative. Like, free energy, that's one thing. Aquaponics, creating an aquaponic. Cleaning up genetically modified, engineered crap in the soil. Now, that's another good thing. Using, minerals from the earth can help do this. A buddy of mine was showing me some of these minerals from the earth that have a high energy frequency that can actually break up these genetically engineered materials in the soil. So you may want to start looking at that and being inventive in that way. Becoming a healer. There's nothing wrong with becoming a healer. I encourage all of you to become healers. Like I said, so I can take a nap. I'm tired. But anyway. And anything you learn that you get from me, I hope, that you will share with other people. That's the intent. Irrespective of their belief systems, color, race, or creed, share. The best thing you can do is be a good neighbor. It's a Canadian concept, I think. But anyway, works for me anyhow. So, look at this. Man, I just showed you how to make a brain concept here. This will light you up, I'll tell you. Now, if you want to take this with a cup of coffee, by all means do so. If you want to take it with a tea, by all means do so. Okay, you can. The only thing I would not encourage you to do is don't take this too late at night, unless you're prepared, unless you're going to be doing an all-nighter in some form or fashion. Whether you're studying, you have to work all night, you're working a shift, shift work, and you got this midnight shift thing going on. Definitely have to have you drink a cup of black coffee. Do not drink cream in your coffee. Do not add, chemicals to your coffee other than things that you can digest and process. Coffee is actually a health food, so don't turn it into a poison. You may find, for a lot of you, one of the other things you'll find too for some of you, and I know I found it for myself, is that when you're on a computer and you're reading text and literature and you're doing research, you will find that your mental endurance will go up. Okay, mental endurance will go up. You will find somewhere I lost about it. Okay.
Meaning what? Like you can process information longer?
You know how you get on a computer and you're typing away and you're hitting the scroll bar, and so you have to go back and reread what you read because he said, "What did I do? What did I read?" And you'll find that you'll be like, Mr. Spock in Star Trek. Ding, 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 ding. And you'll be picking it up, picking it up, picking it up. Those of you who are artists may find that your creativity levels may increase and may become more enhanced. Those of you who are more analytical, more calculating, you may find this will help you too. I had an 87-year-old woman whose job was to coordinate an alphanumeric sequence. Now, before she used this stuff, she said she was having a hard time coordinating A to 2, A to 1, B to 2, and C to 3 and kind of thing. After she got on to stuff at the third month, she said, this is like back in school again. She kind of thing. So you'll find that will have that benefit. All right. Now, I go up. Is that right in front of me there? Let me see. Okay, now the finished product. Now, and the final thing will be, is it safe? Is it safe? Yes, these are safe. I'm going to double check that. That says /0 on there. Okay, /0 it is. Okay, there you go. You have just made a nootropic.
That's what you mean by /0?
/0 right there, see? I use the gelatin primarily because I don't like soy and I'm not into vegetarian anything really. Anything that says vegetarian usually has a genetically engineered content to it, even though it says non-GMO, whatever added to it. That's a lot of nonsense most of the time. I'm not a big believer in GMO-free or organic. I think organic's a big joke most of the time. Today's people have this concept that organic is safe. In reality, it isn't. They've had over 40 years of expanding their markets. Only in Europe right now, Poland has rejected GMOs. There's been about 8 countries, Austria and a bunch of others, and even Monsanto now is saying they are conceding to the fact that the Europeans don't want their crap. GMOs should not exist in the country or on the planet, Period. It's a form of biowarfare. End of story. If anyone thinks it's not, then they're crazy. We have enough food on the planet to feed everybody 1.5 times without genetically engineered foods. They have made no impact on food feeding. Having said this, I will tell you this now, that the GMOs will slowly fade away on some level, but the price of food will go up because of it. So I would encourage you all to start stockpiling things like chicken in cans without any soy or vegetable oil in it, corned beef, canned potato with calcium chloride. Calcium chloride neutralizes the acrylamide in potatoes. Gelatin, powdered eggs, powdered milk. If you can get fresh, unpasteurized milk from a farmer, I'd encourage you to get that. That's what you should be feeding your kids, not this pasteurized nonsense. All right. And you know what? The other thing too, one more thing. Nobel Prize winners. The most Nobel Prize winners drank milk. Number one. They all drank unpasteurized milk. The truth, and you can look it up. Okay, they all drank raw or unpasteurized milk. And that's because down here, bacterial levels were good, and if the bacterial levels are good, you're mentally up there. Keep that in mind. Okay? So, all right, there you go. There you have it. Should I, anything else there? Can you think of?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. All right. So now you guys are going to be Einsteins and geniuses and Teslas, and you're going to become creative and inventive, and you're going to have this to help you. All right. Till the next segment, to your health.